Cummings is happy with her. Fastest last 200 of the race in the Memsie Stakes on dry ground. Really good from back and wide in the Mackay Diva, where she only went so far back because of the barrier. She's an elite wet tracker. She's really well placed under the conditions of this race against her own sex. If she's okay from that setback, she should be too good for them in these conditions.
Let's bring in Charlotte Littlefield for her thoughts. Got the $5 million earner in front of you. Charlotte, those foot issues have been well publicised. How's she walking out to your eye?
There's no knocks from me whatsoever from the get-go here. She's walking out beautifully. She has got quite flat feet, so I think the team have done really well to make them look a really good shape here in the mounting yard, and she's just a classy mare and beautifully conditioned for today, even with that 5 weeks between runs.
Ineligible presents third up off a fourth in the Theo Marks and a second in the Golden Pendant.
Well, Ineligible got some quality form coming down from New South Wales. She was narrowly beaten in the Golden Pendant at Group 2 level last time out. She's got a great record on soft ground, and clearly she's going to be the stiffest test here for Colette. She's likely to be in front of Colette in the way that they've settled, and if there's a chink in the armour of the favourite, she's clearly the one to beat.
4 Shalo Scratch moved to the 5 Brazen Song, a last start Cranbourne benchmark 64 winner.
Yeah, last start winner of Cranbourne, who can make her own luck on the speed. She's very poorly treated under the conditions of this race, getting only 3 kilos off Colette, but I know, it's a 64 all the same, but it was a stronger benchmark 64 as you're likely to see.
BZ, Aidensfield has been campaigned right throughout the winter months, from 3-year-old filly into 4-year-old mare. Last start, she was third here behind Anavisto.
She's yet to win at 1,400 metres, but I think it's her preferred distance. 6 starts for 5 minor placings, and she's very honest. She'll roll forward, she'll put herself somewhere near the front of the field, and she does get the blinkers back on here. She's got a good record on soft and heavy tracks. So even though her class may not appear as strong as what sort of the races that Colette and Ineligible are coming out of, she's a very honest mare who should be giving you a good sight for your money if you have something on her today.
Of course, 7 Sierra Leo Miss contested and won the Group 3 Ladies' Day Vars on Wednesday in preference of this race. To the 8, Pride of Jenny, who was second in the Rose of Kingston, went excellent behind Still a Star.
Yeah, huge run there when just nailed late by Still a Star. She might now be ready to peak third up. She handles wet ground. I like the fact that she'll put herself on speed. Given that, I think she's one of the 2 main dangers to the favourite.
She's just going out onto the track early, just trotting out. Other than that, she's paraded really nicely. She falls very much to her father, and she's got that O'Reilly side, so would love that wet track.
Ruby Street presents here, third up for Kevin Corson's offer running the Gilgai.
Yeah, won a much weaker race first up. Wasn't disgraced in the Gilgai there. She does need to produce a new career peak. I wasn't sure about the really wet ground for her either, or the inside barrier.
The Mar Eustace camp have Steinem here, second up, very lightly raced, just her 6th career start.
Really exciting and progressive mare, this one. Fastest last 200 first up in a much weaker race, albeit, but I think he was just too far back over 1,200 metres. The rising distance is a big positive. The wet track's an unknown for her. She's a very promising mare. It wouldn't shock me if she handled the rising class here, but it is no doubt her toughest test.
Last year it was won by Madame Rouge. There was just 2.65 lengths first to last. Last was Rich Hips. She, of course, came out and won on Melbourne Cup Day. Ben, who are you with in this year's edition of the Tristarc?
Yeah, Colette. You're getting 220, 230 to find out, and I think you're just betting as to whether that setback has affected her, whether she'll produce something like her best. She doesn't need to run to her best to win this, and as long as she's not feeling any ill effects of that setback, then she should really be very hard to beat, because she's one of the better wet trackers we've got in the country. She's extremely well placed under the conditions of this race against her own sex, dropping back in class, and she's been going terrifically well this preparation. Pride of Jenny likes wet ground and will be on speed, was great last time out. Nimmerley, another one that handles wet ground and will be on speed.
I'm happy to be with Colette as well. I think she'll be extremely hard to beat here. She's a sort of easy in the market now, out to around $2.30, but if she's right, she should be too good for this field.
I am all with Colette too. I think she was a standout in the yard, on looks, on the way she paraded, and I don't think I have any worries about the Equicast whatsoever. I just saw her go around with the pony, then trotting out very alert, very nicely. Just as another little one to look for in the race. Aidensfield, very consistent, very strong, so I expect a bold showing there as well.
Oh, Hello, here we go. 2.15 out to 2.35. Your favourite Colette. Who are they coming for? Pride of Jenny. This has been a good go late. A flood of money for Pride of Jenny. You know, she was strong there last start, right behind Still a Star and also Mystic Journey. Well, the punters have come $6 into $4.40 and now $3.80. Come on, man. This is a good go against a Group 1 performer in Colette. Out to 2.35, 2.30 as I speak to you. Rock solid in the market is Nimmerly. Punters, some punters are sticking with her at $4. That's about it. And don't forget, BZ has got his 500 to win, betting with mates on Colette.
Sean Keogh from Godolphin joins us. We see the return of Colette. Sean, thanks for your time. This foot abscess has been very, very well publicised. Tell us about what you and your team have had to do to manage her through to returning today.
Yeah, look, it was awful disappointing. The stubbornness of it at the stage of our preparation, leading into a Caulfield Cup. So, the team had to ease back off her and put the welfare of Colette first and foremost to her, and we gave her plenty of time for that to subside. And then with the gallops leading up, we're just more along the lines of running in a race like the one she's in today.
Yeah, versatility obviously allows you to have a clutch of options at hand. How far away from today did you have to make the decision to abort the Caulfield Cup campaign?
Yeah, like James was, tossing it up all the way up until, only a few days ago. But ultimately, it was the lead-up gallops that, we really had to decide on the type of lead-up gallops would have to be to get her to a Caulfield Cup, and erring on the side of putting Colette and her welfare at the first and foremost. We ended up with prepping her for this race. She was here at Caulfield on Tuesday and she galloped with her stablemate who saluted earlier in the day, so it's all good signs for us.
I imagine the team's been pretty happy when the clouds started to descend on Metropolitan Melbourne late yesterday afternoon, given her adeptness for the wet conditions.
Yeah, look, most of the team were given a rain dance leading into the spring and it didn't quite come to fruition, but it has this week and we're pleased with that.
So is the stated aim now, Sean, beyond today to ideally head to an Empire Rose from here?
The idea was to get her here today in good order, good fashion. She paraded beautifully. She looked really well going to the start with Damian Lane, who had a sit on her on that gallop in the week. And if she can be running well here, the team would be delighted. How's
Animo looking towards the Cox Plate tilt next week?
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, really well. Came through the run in the Caulfield Guineas in excellent style. He's had a faultless week, and he had a look around the valley this morning where he floated around there with his track rider, and the team's very happy.
Thanks for your time, Sean. Good luck.
Thanks, Nigel.
So about a minute and a half until the official start time here for the Lexus Tristarc Stakes. And in terms of the Pick 7, we've got 398 players still alive in the chase for $200,000. Colette, the most popular, with 282, so accounting for 71% of all involved with the Pick 7. 250 will be your top fluctuation, now just trimming back up to 245. Colette is the class mare. Can she get back to her best? If she does so, I thought she'd be extremely hard to beat. Let's get to Matt Hill for his thoughts of race number 7, which is the first leg of the quaddie.
And also some another gear alteration that's been listed this week, racing with Equicast. But we know her quality, and fascinating the way this race is going to work out, because Pride of Jenny will push forward. Nimmerly was pretty brave up on the speed in Sydney last time, and then you've got the class of Colette. So about to be called forward. Ruby Street, the outsider of the field, will be the first one in. Getting set, Ruby Street, the outsider of the field, is the first one up. Pride of Jenny goes up rideless. Colette goes in. Aidensfield joins the line with Brazen Song. Interestingly, quite breezy still here at Caulfield. Real tailwind for them down the railway side, which will be really interesting and important in the Carlton Draft Caulfield Cup later, when plenty of horses will be making their runs. Last couple to get set. Nimmerly with Damien Oliver goes forward aboard the third favourite for the race. And to complete it is Steinem. 13-10 with the book Steinem, a nibble at odds. Just about right. The Lexus Tristarc Stakes set to gallop. Ready to run. And they're racing. Colette just took a backward step there, and the best out clearly was Brazen Song from Ruby Street. Pride of Jenny, as expected, forces up. They were followed by Aidensfield Deeper from Nimmerley, 2 lengths Colette, and last of all is Steinem. So the leader, Brazen Song, by about a neck to Pride of Jenny, who's going to force more speed, and Aidensfield a length away third. A length and 3/4 Ruby Street, and then came Nimmerley, 2 lengths away Steinem, who's on the outside of Colette, 7th and last on the rails, to the side of the course at the 850. Pride of Jenny slows it by a length and 1/4 Brazen Song. Aidensfield third. 2 further back in the field, Ruby Street, and then came the outside, settling down Nimmerley. Then came Steinem getting going 3 wide, and Colette last. Pride of Jenny, 600 metres to go. If anything wants to go a bit quicker, by a length and a half Brazen Song. Aidensfield a length away third. Steinem now out deeper, is starting to move up as the race develops from Nimmerley. Colette's given a reminder, last around the turn with Ruby Street. Pride of Jenny, Brazen Song together. Aidensfield made a line of 3. Steinem the outside. Now Colette's running on, only 2 off the front, and back behind them Nimmerley. Aidensfield at the 200, just in front of Steinem. Now Colette charges up on the outside. Colette up to Steinem from Aidensfield. Colette takes Steinem and draws clear, and Colette just too much class. Colette scored over a length. Steinem second, third close. Aidensfield or Nimmerley. Then Pride of Jenny, Brazen Song, and last Ruby Street.
Well, her name sits pretty comfortably on the Tristarcs on a roll. She sits alongside a clutch of mares that have come to Melbourne over the years, the likes of Savatiano, Global Glamour, First Seal, Sweet Idea, Red Tracer, Streamer, More Joyous, and of course the locally trained mare Typhoon Tracy, who've won this race. It's reserved typically for the best of the mares, and that's the case here with Colette. So she grabs a second Group 2 win to go alongside a win at both Group 1 and Group 3 company. No problems with the foot. Her 7th victory at her 19th start. Disappointing that her target originally, of course, was the feature today, the Caulfield Cup, but a pretty handy consolation prize all the same. Colette takes out the Tristarc, defeating Steinem. Mar Eustace have got her going well, perhaps towards some other targets you'd imagine, like the Matriarch, but Colette delivers as expected.
Class rises to the top in the Group 2 Tristarc Stakes at Caulfield. And there were some anxious moments prior to the turn. Steinem got going, and Colette, who was on a path towards a Caulfield Cup last run, 1,600 metres, was just left a little flat-footed at the rear of the field. She was able to get on the back of Steinem, and once she got to the outside in the home straight, in her preferred conditions, class rose to the fore. That stamina and toughness really kicked in. So she may head towards what's looking a star-studded Empire Rose if she comes through this run okay. She's beaten Steinem, who's a really progressive mare on the way up. Aidensfield gets a very valuable Group 2 placing for her CV. And Nimmerley fills out the first 4. 2, 10, 6 and 3. Godolphin and James Cummings are represented by Sean Keogh, who's catching up with Richo.
So Godolphin get a double today. Sean, congratulations to you and the team. Let's talk a lot about this girl's feet, because that's been the big issue. You and the team have had to do a lot of work with her. Let's talk about Equicast and a 3/4 plate. Why do you use that?
It's for that, Jason, as to you strengthen up the foot. You know, as that abscess was so stubborn, you know, just weakened the foot a little bit. And the farriers, John Bunting and John Urban, you know, they spent plenty of time with her. And just in the week leading up, so we get them solid gallops into her, that was just there to strengthen up the foot. She had plenty of days at the beach in between her work, and we kept her ticking over, and she had the preparation for the Caulfield Cup, so she had plenty of work into her, and we felt like the residual fitness that she would uphold for today, and you know, it was great to see her pull it off.
Well, it's a great credit to you and the entire team and James. But then you were getting ready for a Caulfield Cup. That's 2,400 metres. What about today? So you had to freshen her and get her ready for 1,400. That must have been tough.
Yes, but it's not unknown territory, Jason. You know, she was first up last preparation, beating, you know, probably the best mare in the country over 7 furlongs, and 2 starts back she was here at Caulfield. You know, warming into her preparation over 7 furlongs, and so with the freshness and that residual fitness, you know, down in grade, and she just, you know, truly showed her class of the Group 1 mare she is.
Was the plan to sit towards the rear of the field, or what were you thinking?
Yeah, I think just let the quality unfold. You know, we didn't tie Damian down with too much instructions. Like he mentioned pre-race, he had to sit on her during the week, and, you know, he just let her chime into the race, and if she was feeling well enough, we thought she would salute.
Great achievement to you and all the team. Where does she go next? Do you know? I mean, she's still in a Cox Plate.
Yes, she is still in the Cox Plate, so, you know, she's definitely fit enough to get a mile and a quarter, and you'd like to think that she's, you know, against the mares as well. She's well placed as well, so we'll leave that up to James and the team to decide after such a good victory.
Interesting decision coming up. Well done.
Thanks, Jace.
So they've broken 125 here, which gives you a strong indication that this track is definitely on the improve. Standard time 125.95. And they've broken 125. Richo's now catching up with Damian Lane.
Damian Lane, congratulations. A nice double today. Describe how that mare felt under you today.
She was good. She didn't begin as well as I would have liked. I wanted to hold a touch close position. She dropped the bridle a long way out, and I sort of thought pre-race the last thing I want to be doing is getting caught flat-footed, because she's, you know, originally she was trained for a staying prep, and that's exactly what happened. So, to her credit, between like about the 400 and the 250 was really where she made good ground and killed the race.
Okay, so we're looking forward to see. I mean, she's still in a Cox Plate. Hasn't the team done a great job to be able to get her back winning, considering the issues she's had with her feet?
Yeah, credit to Reg, Sean, all the guys here in Melbourne. Obviously, James puts a lot of trust in them, and they do a great job here. Not easy to get horses back from setbacks mid-campaign to winning races. So, done a great job with this mare, and I'd say her spring is not over yet. You know, hopefully, you know, as you said, she is still in the Cox Plate, but hopefully something like maybe an Empire Roses will be right up her alley.
Well, great double today, and good luck in the Cup.
Thank you.
So Damian Lane suggesting he never wanted to be flat-footed and it to be a sit and sprint. But where he was in this position, Michael, did look a little bit awkward, because then Steinem sort of went off and built into the race, and then he had to really wind her up, but once she did, she was too strong.
Yeah, he just knew, he didn't panic. He knew that if he could get on the back of Steinem, and he knows that she's got a really good turn of foot when she goes. Here, he didn't panic. He thought, I'll just stay here for a little bit. It's a little bit far from home. Then he thought, right, let's follow. Then he went outside and obviously followed Steinem into it, who he ended up beating. He just didn't panic because he knew he's got the horse that handles the wet, and she's the class horse in the field. The thing when she went off the bridle turning around the corner, BZ, 9 times out of 10, horses will come off the corner end because they're getting unbalanced.
Hitting the line strongly there was Colette, getting the job done in the first leg of the quaddie. Let's go to a quick break here on racing.com.